Hey guys, it's Lucretia. I'm back. Have this new software program, so I am hoping that my sound's clear. I plugged this in to get extra sound, so it was kind of muffly without it. But yeah, this new system helps me navigate through things so I can explain a little bit better about some stuff. So let's dive deep real quick today. So I'm hearing a lot of people ask about frequencies and if it's safe and what are frequencies and subliminal messages under frequencies and a lot of my friends, my close friends that are awoke will ask me like, can I listen to this? And I'm like, well, it just depends. So I'm going to explain that here. Also, my son messaged me and he had a dream about frequencies, and then he woke up with the knowledge of hearing sound frequencies in the air. So it's like, I really feel like this is a video that needs to come to get out. So in this video, I'm going to be covering sound frequencies, the things you can't hear under your music and under your lyrics, Wi-Fi frequencies, GMO foods, and how that has to do with 5G. Everything will be shown to you so you can look it up, the sources yourself online. I just want to tell you, YouTube, this is fair use. I'm using this for teaching and instruction purposes only. Um, and let's just jump into this. Okay, guys, I had to move these headphones down. I still have the microphone, still, I'm pretty sure I still have good sound. So I want to get into frequencies and how's frequency playing an effect on us right now, here in this time, for mind control, for the agenda that's going on. So let's just dive deep into that. Okay, so I wanted to look at the frequency definition. Okay, the frequency is the rate at which something occurs or is repeated over a particular period of time or in a given sample. And we go over here, it says frequency is the number of occurrences of a repeating event per unit of time. Okay, so and down here also it's measured in hertz. So I guess what I'm trying to say is frequency, I explained it to my children, and my son's a fisherman, so I explained to him that when he shakes his pole to catch a fish, when you throw that rod out, you're going to have a vibration. But if you throw it out fast enough, that if you get that rod spinning good, like vibrating fast enough, then it's a ripple effect into your pool. And if you do it fast enough, say that you did it so fast you can't see that pool moving, but you know that it's moving because you caused the movement. This is a frequency. Sometimes frequencies are sped up so fast that we don't hear or see them. It doesn't mean that they're not there. We just can't hear it with our ears and we can't see it with our eyes. And that's how ghosts and spirits and realms work. A lot of times I tell you guys that there's life on Mars, you just can't see it. There's life in other realms and space realms, but you can't see it. That's because your frequency isn't sped up that fast. That's another realm of reality that you aren't there yet, and most of the time you have to die to get there, but things are changing. The world is changing, things are speeding up. So I'm going to go to this slide here. Um, let's see. That's not the one I want. This is the one I want. Okay, so up here, so explainer, just what are the different spiritual dimensions of reality? And let's see. My sources are all up here if you ever want to come look at it. I was just demonstrating, I knew what I wanted to say, so I easily just searched what I wanted to say, and what pops up that I thought was relevant is what I had saved for you guys. So spiritual dimensions of reality start out of somewhat concurrent with dimensions as defined in physics, but they are quickly veered off into different directions. Now, keep in mind, I've never been good about reading in front of people, and I oftentimes have my mind moving faster than my mouth, so I do mess up on reading sometimes. But I want to talk to you. There's something in here that I've seen that I want to talk about. Um, what is spiritual dimension of reality? Each dimension of reality has a different set of laws that govern what generally can be and cannot be by an individual's soul or consciousness that is in that dimension. So this is explaining what I tell you guys. Your conscious has to be at a certain level before you expand. I'm just going to use the basics, not speaking about what's happening now, but, when you die, you go to the realm of reality that matches your consciousness. So if you're a low vibrational person, if you killed yourself, your consciousness is not expanded to where it needs to be, and it leaves you in a level of purgatory. And there they play a lot of tricks on you. Demons are there, and it's like a bad acid trip, even though I've never done acid. Lower dimensions are more diverse and have increasingly stronger feelings or belief in separation between forms, objects, and things. So they believe, these lower dimensional people that are in purgatory actually believe that pretty much that I can't really explain that. It's basically they pretty much believe that they are a body. They're not a soul. They don't understand, even if they think that, they don't imply it into their being. You know what I'm saying? You have to really know what you are. And their conscious level is lower, otherwise they wouldn't have killed themselves, or even dying too young, that happens too. Although dimensions are typically defined as realms, not all of them, but most of them agree that they actually form a gradual transition from one to the next. So every time it's like leveling up, like I said, and these are the heavenly realms. And I have a video, dimensions versus realms, know the difference. And I done that a while ago, but it explains this. So all dimensions exist at the same time and occupy the same space. I've said that as well because time doesn't exist when you're standing outside of time and you can look back in and you could see that all times ran at once, because I could see future lives, past lives all at one time. Anything under heaven, I could see it in a timeless manner. Our dream reality, for example, exists parallel to our walking reality, and we are present in each simultaneously at all times. So therefore, that's why when we go to sleep in this reality, we wake up in other realities. Then we become aware in another reality. And people like me can actually distinguish the two and understand the separation. So let's see, something. Then this is what I want to talk about: density, dimensions versus density. Okay, there is a big confusion about density and dimensions. All right. And so when I tell you guys, when people were saying we're about to move to 5D, and I kept saying, well, you might not see the change. Okay, that's because you can change consciousness and change your surroundings, but you still remain in the same density because you're not dead yet. So, we're all here on Earth, and so you should be able to separate yourself and realize that some beings, their density house lower level consciousness than we do. So density emphasizes the specific frequency or state of consciousness or awakening that a being or an object is generating or displaying at any point in time. Dimensions, on the other hand, are shared realms where most beings are in the same density. So we're all here on Earth, which is a 3D density, but we don't all possess a 3D consciousness. We were born here, and most likely we all had a 3D consciousness entering this world. We had lessons to learn. However, some of us have expanded, and that's the purpose of this experience, in life, is to learn lessons from it. Control your thoughts, understand, God and all these things that factor in, or realize that your circumstances doesn't shape you, and to separate from negative. And so even though we're here on 3D, doesn't mean that we're all in the same mind frame. So that's when I tell you, famous people, movie stars, they've realized how to work the system for self gain. And I'm not saying that's bad. We do have to, we always have a polarity. If we get there, then, are we going to use it for the good or for the bad? But I'm not talking about polarity. I'm just talking about rising. A higher density or higher frequency is said to be able to hold more information, knowledge, and intelligence. So those awoken people have this, more intelligence, more information in their consciousness. A lower density frequency holds more structure, polarity, and physical experiences in their awareness. So, they let the outside reality shape their inside and cause them to be negative. A bad life, or we've all had hard circumstances. It's just how we take that. So, for example, some say that Jesus was a seventh density being during his historical time in his third dimensional earthly body. I believe that this is true. This may be very common for a reincarnation, although very few remember their higher dimensional origin. And so they are third dimensional beings from or for all practical purposes. So most people doesn't remember this. They don't understand where they came from. And so when you start remembering where you came from, you understand your own power. And so this article is a good read. And I'm not going to read this whole article, and I'm not going to say that everything in it's precisely accurate, because I haven't even read down into these actually. So if you do look this up, I'm only speaking on the things I've read to you, and which is accurate in my opinion. So I just want you to understand that, the frequency of the mind projects your reality. It's the expansion of consciousness. It doesn't necessarily mean that um, that you fit in with other people. You know what I'm saying? It does. That's why you see. That's why you don't want to hang out with your lower level friends that you once hung out with. You're awoke now. You see the difference. You see that some people are progressing and some people aren't. You want to separate from it. And this is very important right here. Let's see. Yeah, make sure. Okay, so this is a vibrational scale of consciousness. And this is so important. And if you could screenshot this from this video right now, it would be actually wise. I might do that myself, and save this, because if you look at it, it kind of keeps your mind in the right direction. Okay, so this is a vibratorial or vibrational scale of consciousness. Okay, emotions is energy in motion. And I love that because it is. When you throw out, I'll just tell you, when you throw out a negative emotion, anger, rage, anything like that, and a demon or a ghost is around in that kind of form, they steal that energy. It's actually literally energy. And they steal it and they use it for self gain. And that's how they end up moving objects and stuff like that. So, can you imagine if you're putting out positive energy, they can't take nothing from that. Matter of fact, their frequency is so low, they can't actually see or match it. So, sometimes lower level mindsets will give you the ability to feel lower level energy, and somebody that's not on that same wavelength doesn't always feel that. So that's why you'll get people, and you could be saying a really good story and somebody to take out the worst thing out of that story, and then use it as, oh, I can't believe you said this about me, or whatever it is. That's because their third dimensional mindset can only see that third dimensional thing. They're on a lower level frequency. And the purpose of what you were trying to teach or say totally got overlooked, and now they're hung up on all this drama about whatever you said that didn't set with them right. It's just, that's why I don't even mess with people. All right, so we got shame. Okay, so this is your level. So the law of vibration activates, well, hold on, energy vibrates at a certain frequency. And so again, you vibrate, I vibrate at a different frequency than someone else. The law of vibration activates the law of attraction, and through the law of deservedness, I don't even know that word, sorry. You attract what you send out by the emotions you hold in your body. So exactly, when you have an emotion within you, you track that. You track what you send out, and it's like a mirror. Your reality is a mirror of the reflection that's in your mind. And when you die, it's the exact same way. It's the exact same way. So when you die, you're seeing the spirits and ghostly beings that you believe in. If you believe in darkness, you're going to see darkness. All right, so here's this level. Okay, so here's your emotions, and this is the frequency in which them emotions put out. Shame is 20, very low. You're going to be at a low frequency mindset if you're living in shame. You're not going to make it up here. Guilt, you're staying at a low frequency mindset. Let's go. We got fear. That's 100. You're still at the low. Desire. So you got to control all these things. You control your desires, control your fear. Don't be in grief. Don't have anger. That's why I always say, if you feel this emotion, recognize it and then let it go. Don't act on it. Don't resonate within these numbers here. Pride is also a lower level number. So you start rising right about here when you have courage, neutrality, 250, willingness, acceptance. You accept the things you cannot change, and you move forward with your life. You have reasoning, you have love. You look at this love one, 500. So you're vibing at 500 if you're in your love chakras. If you're just, everything you look at, I love it, Joy, be joyful. Don't let something steal your pride. I did a video on this house and I had to remove it temporarily. I'll put it back up. But I had to remove it because of the music. And the point of putting that on there is I went from a modular to this house, and it was our dream. I prayed for it for at least 7 years. Ever since I left the children's dad, I've been praying for a house in the country. Finally got this one. but it wasn't easy to get. It looked like it was falling in, but I mean, it wasn't, but it needed work. There's a lot to it. If I was in my, in the wrong reasoning, if I was, oh, I'm not worthy of it, or I don't know how I'm going to do it, then I wouldn't have got it. You know what I'm saying? Control your thoughts. So love, joy, peace, be at peace and harmony. So like I said, just using the house as an example, if I wouldn't have got it, I still would have been at peace. I would have been like, thanks, God. I understand why. You were protecting me for something. You had something else in mind. When you start controlling your emotions and understanding that all these are negative, false, pseudo uh, feelings within yourself of the devil, none of this is in heaven. You get up into, love, joy, peace, and enlightenment and everything you do. And this picture demonstrates the aura. Red is more in the red. When I say, you're in the red, it's because your levels are low, your frequency. So, I want to get into, let's see. 7 things that affect your vibrational frequency. Let's see what this one says. I only read some of these articles. I read them all, but I didn't go into really reading them in depth. So, your thoughts. So we're looking at 7 things that affect your vibrational frequency. Your thoughts. Of course, we just covered that. The company we keep. If you got somebody always bringing you down, or somebody pointing out your flaws, or somebody making you feel bad, somebody keeping you from being free, somebody criticizing your thoughts and opinions, somebody not thinking you're good enough. These are all things that we don't need in our lives. This will lower our frequency. And I have family that's like, why don't you want to hang out with me? Well, I don't directly say, well, it's because your frequency's low. But I just, I have different passions and desires, so I'm busy. I'm busy a lot. And I truly am busy a lot. But I can't lower myself with it at all. And I focus on my kids and my happiness. And once you start putting yourself first and your own priorities first, what makes you happy? Well, my kids make me happy. Then you start living in your happiness and your love chakras. The music you listen to is very powerful. If you only listen to music about death, betrayal, sadness, abandonment, all these bad things, then it's going to lower your vibration, of course. What you listen to is very, very important. And that's why I'm getting into this video, to let you know that, a lot of people are like, well, can I listen to certain frequencies to raise my vibration? And that's what the purpose of this video even came about. So we're going to get into that. But pay attention to the things you look at. What programs and what are we watching on TV? These are affecting your vibration. The environment, whether you're at home or at work, are you happy? And it says if you're disorganized and dirty, then, it lowers your frequency. Which explains why I'm always like, it just feels so much better when my house is clean, Sorry. The word, if you tend to complain or speak badly about things and people, this will affect your vibration. Watch what your words are like a sword, could really affect somebody and change their lives even. Give them complexes and make them feel less worthy. Just watch what you say, always promote love and kindness, forgiveness, and wisdom, and gratitude right here, gratitude. So gratitude positively affects your vibrational frequency. And the reason why is because, if you're thankful for what you have, you're most likely to get something else. So, just like your kids, you're not likely to keep giving if they're not thankful for what they got, if they misuse what they have, if they tear it up, they're not getting their lessons learned if we just keep handing them things and they keep taking advantage of us. So to show gratitude in everything you get shows God and Jesus that you're thankful. You're thankful for what's been given to you and that you're ready for advancement. He's more likely to bless you. So we covered the seven things that affect vibration, and there's more things, but that's just the basic things here. And so now what I want to talk about is, let's see what this is. Looks like I just left my search engine. Yeah, it's right here. Subliminal messages. The silent brainwash. You can see where I found this up here. And let's see, what are subliminal messages? Now, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to somebody asking me, is it okay to listen to certain frequencies? You got to understand that a frequency is a spectrum. And actually, I think that's why I had this up here. back here. Let me see. I should have had a, maybe I didn't. It's a spectrum, and basically, there's a sound spectrum that you can't hear within the frequencies. There can be things layered under the noise you're listening to, the music you're listening to, the commercial ads. There can be secret messages in that. And, I sound paranoid, but it's true. And I'm definitely not paranoid. I'm just wise. And so subliminal messages are works, commands, or even images that are suddenly hidden within our messages so that they are not received on a conscious level. Instead, the messages are absorbed subconsciously just below the threshold of conscious perception, enabling the brain to process it without the subject being aware. If you're listening to something on repeat all the time and aren't aware of it, then it affects your actions. It's in your minds and thoughts. And like I said, you control your thoughts, but what if something's going into your thoughts that's programmed that's not of you? It's putting that information in there. That's like definitely how demons and Satan works with people. When they're on a lower level mindset, then that vibration he's able to get into, and pretty much like the good devil, bad, you know what I'm saying? The good angel, bad devil in your head, making you question things. Well, when you're on 3D lower dimensional mindset, you are tricked often into these things that you don't even realize. That's not a you. This happens with subliminal messages as well. All right, so I'm going to play this video, and this is a frequency test. Okay, so I want you guys to listen to this video. Tell me where it stops. Like, listen to it and tell me where it stops, where you can't no longer hear the sound. Here we go.
Let's go. How did you do? Let us know in the comments. If your result was lower than you expected, don't worry too much. Almost every sound we hear in everyday life is less than 5,000 Hz, and this test is not an accurate representation of the quality of your hearing across the spectrum, only your ability to detect almost unnaturally high sounds. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like. We'll see you next time.
All right, that was how high can you hear? So if you want to take this test, look it up on YouTube. How high can you hear? You can see it right here by Hyperdrive. And I'm not affiliated with them. I am just giving you an example based on their example. And let's see here. I also have another example for you here. This is wild. Okay, so I was actually going to get this program. It cost money, so I didn't. I am putting his video on here, his demonstration. And this demonstration is going to show you how messages can be put under your music. Now, the reason for this is because I have a few friends who have asked me, Kelly, John, and Lisa, you guys have asked me a lot about frequencies. And my son just started learning this on his own out of the blue. So I see this popping up a lot of times in my life. If it's popping up in my life, it's popping up in everybody's life because it's coming in. It's the awakening time and everything's flowing in. Usually Christians and pastors follow the same topic at the same time. You wonder why we all talk about the same thing at the same time. It's not because we're copying each other. It's because that's the message given from the supernatural, the God, God, Jesus. And this is the deal. So, when somebody asks me, can I listen to this frequency, or can I, they don't want to be falsed into trickery. Okay. Is bulls okay? This is the deal. All that stuff would be great if we knew if it wasn't affected. Who's the source? Where are you? First of all, if you were in the Bible and in the Word, you would already be high vibrational. If you were in the Word and in Jesus Christ, you're going to be high vibrational. You're not going to need outside sources to trick or to jump you to where you need to be. When you rise in conscious, you already automatically rise in frequencies. And the deal is some frequencies can cause healing effects to your body. Some light spectrums, certain color lights, can also heal you. So I'm not going to sit here and say that's bad. Definitely not. And, when you rise in consciousness, you become aware of more knowledge and better ways to heal yourself. And So this is the deal though. Who's putting it out? You know, is a Christian putting it out? Do you trust the source? Because I could put something out and put secret messages under it, you know, and obviously I wouldn't, but there's some people that would. Now, some of the frequencies or meditation that people listen to, they'll tell you it's guided. And so sometimes like during a meditation, it was a 21-day meditation I tried once. And for the first week, I didn't hear any subliminal messages. And this man's like warned you. I have subliminal messages in here, and they only just telling you you're beautiful. You're just all these good positive things. Like you're amazing. You're successful. After a week of doing this meditation, I actually could hear it under the same exact video. Okay, you're listening to the same video 21 days in a row, doing the same meditation. During like the seventh time, I started hearing underneath that video. So that's exactly a prime example of when you rise in consciousness, you can hear sounds that other people cannot. Now, this guy has a perfect demonstration of that. Here we go.
So you want to make a subliminal message, or just wonder what one is and whatnot. I'll tell you, I found a great piece of software online, so I thought I'd share it with all my friends on YouTube. I've always heard about subliminal messages. My dad used to have those subliminal CDs, and he'd play them all the time, and so that kind of got me curious. And so I looked around online, and I found this great program here called the Subliminal Recording System 8.0. And I went ahead and got that, and got that running, and I'll tell you, boy, it's really amazing. And what I've done for my test was my wife, it's just me and my wife here at home now. Kids are all grown and gone, so we eat out a lot. She doesn't really like to cook. We eat out a lot, and I'll tell you, I'm sick of it. So I thought, boy, wouldn't this be great if I could get her to start cooking some dinner at home. So that's pretty much what I did, my first one. And so I made the recording, and I put my final MP3 into her background of her screensaver. So every day she's hearing that play a few times a day, and I'll be dang, it works. It really works. Though I'll eat out a couple times a week. It's not every day anymore. So I see it working. I'm just simply amazed. So I'm gonna use it to try to quit smoking. So anyway, I'm going to show you real quick. I'm just going to do a really quick subliminal here with the subliminal recorder, so you can see how easy it is. I'll just hit File over here, and I'll pick me out a background sound, and hit play. Okay. That's just water. That's not a very good one. So let me grab something else here. Okay, here's something. Now I hit play. Okay, so there's my background that I'm going to use now. Of course, I can use any MP3 I get from the internet, or anything off of a CD, or but I'm just going to use that. And then for something real quick, for my messages, I'm going to open up the text-to-speech recorder. Let me make this smaller so it fits in the window so you can see it. Okay, and you'll notice that there's even all kinds of categories of built-in messages here I can choose from. So, kick smoking. I'll click that. And here it has my messages in here. Now I can add my own in here. I could add to this. I could just create my own off the bat, or anything I want to do, but I'll just leave that as is now. Let me hit speak.
Tobacco smoke stinks.
Okay, so you hear the computer speaking that. Now I'm going to hit create wave, and I'll call this no smoke. Okay, successfully written. Okay, so that's done. So now on track 2, I'm going to load up that file that I just created. No smoke. Alright, there we go. Okay, let me turn this down. Play. Now if I play this, I also want to loop this one.
Tobacco smoke makes me sick.
Okay, So now that's playing. Stop. And if you notice here, I'll show you this in the spectrogram.
Tobacco smoke stinks.
See, so you can see the frequencies that are being played back here.
Tobacco smoke makes me sick.
Okay, now I want to make that silent and subliminal, so all I have to do is hit send and filter, and I can even turn it up a little bit more. Now notice what happened over here. There it goes. See, now my subliminal message is up here at 16.5 kilohertz, which is still well within the hearing range, but it's just the sweet spot that you can't seem to hear. Okay, so now I know that that's playing there. Now let me play my music behind it. See the music coming in there. Now we see the music down here kind of at the bottom, and there's your subliminal message up there at the top. So that proves that it is in there. Okay, stop. So now I'm ready to make a final recording of this. So all I need to do is hit my prepare button and name my file. Stop. Smoking now. Okay, now I'm monitoring my record. So now it's ready to go. So all I need to do is hit play and hit record and let this record for a little bit. So let me hit play.
Now imagine if your kid or you or whoever has headphones on jamming out to this at full-blown capacity here. And all they're hearing is a message in there that is repeating in their subconscious mind on a level they can't hear.
Okay, now I'll stop it. Now I'm going to play back my final recording of that. As you notice in the spectrogram, you can still see the subliminal messages up there.
So he's proving to you right here that you can still, these are two layers. You know, this is the original, and then this is a layer of the subliminal. He's proven to you that there's still a message in here. And
okay, stop. And that's it. Now
I think you guys can understand what I'm getting at with this. So when people ask me, is listening to bulls okay? Is listening to these certain frequencies to elevate myself okay? It depends your source and if it's trustworthy and who's putting in it, who's putting what in it. Recognize that because, you know, Wi-Fi, which is the next thing we're going to get into, is a spectrum. Wi-Fi is working on the same frequency vibration that's measured in hertz, you know, and I'm just pulling this up for an example. I'm not affiliated with these people. I'm not dogging these people. I'm just giving you the facts here. Some facts on Wi-Fi 6E, and I know nothing about this, but the 6G hertz band represents 12 millihertz of spectrum that will be available from 5.925 gigahertz to 7.125 gigahertz. Keep in mind, blah, 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 you got 11 different channels. We're talking about frequency here, guys. The faster the frequency vibration, the faster the speed. Sometimes things speed up so fast that you can't see it. That's why Wi-Fi can't be seen. It doesn't mean that we're not walking in invisible wires all the time. What's being fed into the system? When I say that we're all on a grid system connected by this, that's what I mean by that. Who's feeding this information? You know, somebody's going to be able to program what they want into this Wi-Fi signal, and you're on the same wavelength because we're all connected to it. It's important to realize this, and I don't know the answer to fix it. I know they sell EMV hats or, you know, hats, beanie hats, and protection. I'm still trying to figure out how to break away from this system and still survive. However, you know, this is a prime example why this is a beastly system. All right, so what do we have next? Global fall, the final wake-up call. 5G is electromagnetic. This goes into the last few videos I've explained to you guys. I've had a couple people tell me they don't understand. This is the deal. So 5G and GMO foods and nanoparticle foods and nanoparticle technologies that turn us into non-human from changing the DNA codes, all of these things, nanoparticle shots and things like this, then the revolutionary science. This is all coming. It's all direct. It's all run hand in hand. It's all together. So Wi-Fi wavelength is the same as the human vibrational brain levels. Your cell phone is a weapon of mass destruction. GMO and EMF pollution rendering the planet inhospitable for human life. Life on Earth threatened by global 5G satellite microwave. Wake up, everybody! 5G apocalypse. Okay, so altering living matter to obtain full spectrum control. At this point in time, and this is my beliefs as well, many people think 5G will bring our society more prosperity, blah, blah, blah. Let's get into the right here. Altering of DNA through GMO food. People, animals, fish, insects, and plants are hereby cross-contaminated through the consumption and absorption of genetically modified species. Not without reason, and these engineered products earn the title Frankenstein food. Okay, so not even if the Amish is even getting affected by these wavelengths being in the air. Okay, and 5G actually penetrates our sweat glands on another level, and these little hubs that they hooking up actually allows it to penetrate within our body systems. Um, and so let's see here. 5G is listed as part of the greater family of electromagnetic frequencies. The synthetic form of pulse electricity. Let's see. The development, secret service weaponry development, use microwave frequencies to penetrate buildings to spy on adversaries. Both GMO and EMFs come from the same stable and are being used as calculated as intentional weapons of biological destabilization and destruction. There is no chance of EMF technologies capable of such drastic alteration to the genome and responsible the annihilation of the earth. This is being sarcastic, but would have been commercialized. It's basically saying it wouldn't be commercialized that they're trying to do this to you. GMOs and 5G share the same basic goal to alter living matter to such an extent to be able to exert 100% control of it. And this is the main thing I'm trying to tell everyone with the shot. It's not just the shot, it's the food. It's the technology, it's everything involved. All right, so GMO and 5G share the same basic goal to alter living matter. Google nanoparticles. It's the technology that replicates living matter, only it's technology. It's not real, you know. It's like a it's it's the harbor people. It's making something out of nothing that's not from God. It's the AI. To such an extent to be able to exert 100% control over it. In the case of GMO, for example, genetically altering the DNA of, I don't know that word, but soy, cotton, or a tomato. Basically, they're not just altering your DNA, they're altering the DNA of your crops, your plants, your animals, your everything. They're spraying it with toxic chemicals, better known as Roundup. We're talking also about the stuff they spray in the air from our planes, chemtrails, all this stuff. Well, what happens when they're doing all this? You know, they're still putting it out there. Um, they're putting it on our foods, even our organically grown foods. It's a major part of the secret agenda to destroy our health and those in the shadows assisting in demonic biotech cabal. All right, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I suggest that you find it if you're more interested in this. It's talking about, you know, the 2G, 3G, 4G, Wi-Fi, how it's all the same thing. It's if they're not penetrating us through food, they're penetrating us through mind systems, you know. They're using nanoparticles, they're using Wi-Fi to get into our thought process. They're making us all as one. God didn't make us this way. This is stripping us of self-will. And it's not good. It's not good at all. It says in here, you know, silent weapons. The militaries use 5G to send messages and make their opposing, whoever they're in war with, which was the Iraqis at the time, it makes them to give in. They just don't know why they're giving in. They just give up. So what happens when people walk themselves into concentration camps because their mind tells them to? You know, it's going to cause hallucinations and false realities. It's not a good thing. On top of that, it causes cancer, and there's a lot of other things. So I'm not going to keep reading this, but I'm hoping that you guys understand what I'm saying. So to find this final wake up call .info. All right, and there's a whole article right there on that. So nanoparticles, this is what I searched. Nanoparticles play, actually I probably shouldn't have said that word in this thing, but nanoparticles play a major role in this development of this particular thing here. And yeah, for the mRNA vaccine. So this is, I pulled this up just to show to you that this is a technology, nanotechnologies that are in the, I'm gonna have to cut this out a few times where I have accidentally said this word that I shouldn't, but nanotechnologies are in this particular shot. So this is just proof that they're putting it into you any way they can. And this here shows the nanotechnology in the food sciences here. I mean, it shows that there's nanosensors, nanotracers. They have found that if they grow certain foods in nano particle technology, that it won't die under harsh conditions. It's just a chemical process. It's a fake food, is what it is. And this results from that. Transhumanism is resulting from all these I don't know what that is. All these altering of time. Like it's altering us and putting us in one particular time in reality. And I'm not sure why that I had that up there. Yeah, Revelations. I do want to show you that. But back to this. Let's see. Transhumanism, Wikipedia. Transhumanism is a philosophical, I can't even talk, can't read. Philosophical, movement that advocates for the transformation of the human condition by developing and making widely available sophisticated technologies able to greatly modify or enhance human intellect or psychology. Transhumanist thinkers study the potential benefits and dangers of emerging technologies that could over fundamental human limitations as well as the ethical limitations of basically it's like you won't die, you know. It's like look up some of these videos here. It's just not a good thing, okay? Not a good thing, and that's what we're coming to when we enter technology into our systems. When we're eating it, breathing it, living it, we become it. When we think it, you know, it's everything, stripping us from God. And I want to end this by this right here. King James Version. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. This is Revelations 9:5. Or, excuse me, 9:6. I got a 9:6, 9:5, 9:7. So it's somewhere in there. But look, this is what I'm trying to tell you. They're trying to reconstruct our whole thing. And this is the deal. So in the end times, you know, the beast system has a false illusionary, you know, it looks like peace and it's not, and it's fake and it's trickery. I want you guys to look up a few things. Bill Gates has bought a lot of farmland. Matter of fact, I'll show that to you here. But he bought a lot of farmland, you guys. Bill Gates. Bill Gates farmland. Let's just see what pops up here. The real reason why Bill Gates is now the U.S. biggest farmer. Let's see how much land he actually owns. There we go. How much farmland does Bill Gates own? According to the land report, Gates owns 242,000 acres of farmland in addition to 25,750 acres of transitional land and 1,234 acres of recreational land for a grand total of 268,984 acres. Now, why does this man need that many acres of land? The land is spread out through the South, Midwest, and West. Okay, look, in 19 states, he's got farmland that he's bought up. On top of that, we all know that he's founding a lot of these big companies, a lot of media companies, and a lot of research companies, a lot of, you know, the actual biotech and things like that. That's all I'm going to say on that. Let's go back to this. When I tell you guys that, you know, it'll come a time where you live under the beast system, you're living in a false reality, just like a 3D dimensional mindset. You are what you believe. Once you start really getting affected in this kind of way, and shifting from human to unhuman-like through technology, things are programmed into your mind. It's taking your light away. It's actually separating you from God. You're no longer under God's protection because he hardens his heart towards you because he feels like it's ignorant, you know, and he says that many times. He uses that word in the Bible even. When you believe something, it shapes your reality. You know, if you see negative all the time, you're going to live in a negative world. That's all you're going to see. You're going to pull negative out of every conversation. You're going to be negative in everything you do. If you're high vibrational, you're thankful even for the bad. You know, you're high vibrational, you're thankful at everything because you understand this life and you understand the blessings within it, and you're praised and you're loved. Um, it shapes your reality, and it determines how far your consciousness will grow and go. Okay, this Bible verse in Revelations saying that in those days shall men seek death, and death shall not find it. The thing is like, if you are living under the beast system, it could look like you're on vacation and it looks harmonious. Everybody's thinking the same, everybody's just alike. They're working under the whatever the commands of the beast is. They don't realize it. So whatever that you're eating his food, you're on his system. So what happens is that you become one with the beast. Yeah, you're not with God at that point. And in those days, men shall seek death, and they won't find it. These men can't die. They can't die. So when they wake up to what they've done to themselves, they can't turn around and die because now they're artificial. And shall desire to die, but they can't. And death shall flee from them. It's like, okay, you know, if you can't even die and you want to die, you know, that's a bad thing. What's going to happen? You know, it's not going to be good. And then at the end of it all, God's going to come back. And they, you know, a lot of people never repent. I mean, how could you once you're under that far of deception? You've done stripped your ability to see God. You know, we're in times, you guys. I have no doubt about it. We are definitely in times. And it's a scary world in which we live in. And so I am just, keep in mind, this is not my symbol, if you guys could see that. I just bought this new computer, and it came as, it's a Razor Blade 15, and it came with that symbol. But I I really just want you guys to be prepared and to be wise. And, you know, I don't have all the answers of what to do. I stay in Jesus. I stay in high vibrational mindsets. I stay wise, you know. However, I'm just working on myself. I'm working because I'm just now becoming aware of a lot of things. Even though I've always been spiritual, I'm just now learning a lot. We should be living like the Amish, those type of things. So, you know, I'm working on that myself. So I'm gonna go, you guys. I just want to tell you guys thank you so much for watching. Hopefully that my sound and audio is clear enough. I am still working on this new system. So I ask you to like, subscribe, share, stay tuned, and stay wise. Thank you guys.